controller in hand. Faith, adventure, stories untold. First responder, hearts brave and bold. Beyond the quest, where the journeys meet, from the fires of life to the gaming heat. Slingshot's crew, come join the ride, with McMedic, Napkins, and Taco as your guide. Beyond the quest, where the journeys meet, from the fires of life to the gaming heat. Slingshot's crew, come join the ride, with McMedic, Napkins, and Taco as your guide. Beyond the quest, where the stories grow, faith, fire, and games in the world we know. Adventure calls, the table is set, let's take the leap, our best quest yet. From the first light to the game's last stand, we're chasing truth with controller in hand. Faith, adventure, stories untold. First responder, hearts brave and bold. Beyond the quest, where the journeys meet, from the fires of life to the gaming heat. Slingshot's crew, come join the ride, with McMedic, Napkins, and Taco as your guide. Beyond the quest, where the journeys meet, from the fires of life to the gaming heat. Slingshot's crew, come join the ride, with McMedic, Napkins, and Taco as your guide. Beyond the quest, where the stories grow, faith, fire, and games in the world we know. Adventure calls, the table is set, let's take the leap, our best quest yet. From the first light to the game's last stand, we're chasing truth with controller in hand. Faith, adventure, stories untold. First responder, hearts brave and bold. Beyond the quest, where the journeys meet, from the fires of life to the gaming heat. Slingshot's crew, come join the ride, with McMedic, Napkins, and Taco as your guide. Beyond the quest, where the journeys meet, from the fires of life to the gaming heat. Slingshot's crew, come join the ride, with McMedic, Napkins, and Taco as your guide. Beyond the quest, where the stories grow, faith, fire, and games in the world we know. Adventure calls, the table is set, let's take the leap, our best quest yet. From the first light to the game's last stand, we're chasing truth with controller in hand. Faith, adventure, stories untold. First responder, hearts brave and bold. Beyond the quest, where the journeys meet, from the fires of life to the gaming heat. Slingshot's crew, come join the ride, with McMedic, Napkins, and Taco as your guide. Beyond the quest, where the journeys meet, from the fires of life to the gaming heat. Slingshot's crew, come join the ride, with McMedic, Napkins, and Taco as your guide. Beyond the quest, where the stories grow, faith, fire, and games in the world we know. Adventure calls, the table is set, let's take the leap, our best quest yet. From the first light to the game's last stand, we're chasing truth with controller in hand. Faith, adventure, stories untold. First responder, hearts brave and bold. Beyond the quest, where the journeys meet, from the fires of life to the gaming heat. Slingshot's crew, come join the ride, with McMedic, Napkins, and Taco as your guide. Beyond the quest, where the journeys meet, from the fires of life to the gaming heat. Slingshot's crew, come join the ride, with McMedic, Napkins, and Taco as your guide.
Beyond the Quest may not be suitable for all listeners. If you're going to hear real raw footage of real life first responders discussing anything and everything. You may hear from preachers, teachers, EMS personnel, 911 dispatchers, and more. Nothing is off the table, and as I stated, nothing is edited out. Please bear with us in these early episodes. I promise it will get better with time as we are just starting this journey. Jokes may be made that some may find offensive. These views and opinions are that of each individual person and not that of the group Slim Chance Gaming or any of our sponsors. If you're easily offended, this may not be the show for you. Or then again, it could be. With all that out of the way, let's get started.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Beyond the Quest, episode 3. I don't know what all we're talking about, but you just heard Taco giving that lovely disclaimer. His first time, he deserves a hand clap. I'm proud of you.
Yay.
And then we got Napkins here. He's a slacker. He's been late.
What's up, y'all?
Good morning, fellers.
Good
So,
morning,
Good
sir.
morning. Good morning.
um, I've been dying for this episode because I wanted to dive into Arcane. Now that somebody, I won't mention names, finally watched the show. Napkins. Um,
Why you gotta call me out like that?
well, because you're the slacker. Um, so you finally
By
watched
the
like
way, I'm
every
just
episode.
gonna yes, but I'm gonna plug this right quick.
Oh, he's on
Whoever's
plug.
listening, whoever's listening to the podcast and not watching it on YouTube or on Twitch, the first like 3 to 5 seconds are gonna be missing, and I apologize. I am a slacker.
I've been telling him all morning.
Anyway, to answer your question, yes, sir. I officially watched all of Arcane, and let me just say, holy crap!
Well, let's start with you. Give me your feedback. You finally finished not just first season but second season, right?
Yes.
So, what's your review on it as a show, as on what they did good, what they did bad, where they could have done better? You think?
Um, overall, as a show, I loved it. Overall show like that. It's one of those that draw you in, and it really hooks you from the first episode. Um, I couldn't get enough. I binged watched the crap out of it. Then life kind of got in the way. That's why it took me a minute to finish the second season. But overall, the show is great. I give it 10 out of 10. Uh, I don't know if they're making another season, but I do hope that they do.
They are not,
Um,
as of
that
right now.
sucks.
As of right now, the story of Arcane is finished. They have
Which,
a spin-off that they've been in the works of for the last, I think it's been like 2 to 5 years, that they actually started working on before Arcane, that was supposed to start trying to get going next year, of Noxus, Demacia, and Ionia.
so knowing that bit of information, the ending of the show would probably be my downfall. Just because if you wasn't planning on extending it, why would you have um, Kate and Vi's scene where Vi basically says, spoiler alert, Vi basically says, "I'm not. You're stuck with me," and 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 prior, like the whole thing that brought that up is Kate asking her if she's sure that she wanted to continue this fight, meaning that there's going to be future episodes. So if
Correct.
they don't make future episodes, I'm going to be a little upset about that.
Well, like I
Now,
mentioned to Taco yesterday, I think it was, I didn't understand the point of them showing the glimpse of Oriana, Sinja's daughter or whoever, if they're not going to show her in the show. You know what I mean? Like, why wait till the
yeah.
very last part and just show a glimpse of her and then end it?
Um,
So, real quick with the Oriana thing, if you watch everything real closely, and even a couple episodes you have to watch all the way to the credits really start rolling good. It shows one glimpse of her in what kind of looks like some sort of stasis bedding
Yeah.
as a person. And then at the very end in the finale, it showed one little tiny blinking you miss it clip of her as Oriana looking
Looking in
into
a
a
mirror.
mirror
Yeah.
and Singe reaching her a brush.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Why show it if they're not gonna like? Because every League of Legends fan that watched that was like, "Oh, there's Oriana." What was the point of it if she's not gonna be in any episodes? That was it. Boom, done.
Well, we don't know. If they're doing something larger, I expect at some point it's going to become more of an anthology style series where it'll jump around Runeterra, showing us little bits of here and there.
So, building off of that, what I was getting ready to say, what I think that this proves, because this show, Arcane, for the ones that haven't watched it, it's a show that was made off of the game of League of Legends, and it's ranked top 10 right now
It's on
on
Netflix.
Netflix. It's Netflix's top 10 right now.
Yeah.
So for it to just be based off of a game and it do that well, in my opinion, this is Riot's opportunity to make a show that really touches on every character's backstory. Because honestly, though I never got to read the lore, if this lined up with Jinx's lore,
It does now.
it's awesome. Because for people like me who can't necessarily stay focused enough to read the gigantic lore,
ADHD.
it still gives us an exactly. It still gives us an opportunity to learn their lore, and seeing it in a show form, I feel like is much more entertaining
Okay.
to me.
Well, so this is one reason I wanted to jump in this. And okay, so one, I love the show. Absolutely love the show. Um, the ending had me really disappointed. Like I was super disappointed in the ending. I thought it. I don't know. For Victor and Jace to just be gone, Jinx to just be gone, and all this, and boom, it just ends. I was like, what? What the crap is that? Um, Besides the ending though, and it also depends on where they're going to go from this, because there's a lot of talks I've heard of doing like what you mentioned of like, so this next thing will be between Noxus and Demacia and Ionia, because the big war between Demacia and Noxus would be easy to play off of. Um, so they said it would be kind of like the whole Jinx and Vi thing, how it started out in the first season. Um, then going to Ionia and opening up to more characters, it gives them, from what I've heard, all the talk is it gives them more options to spread out the different series into different characters from different regions of Runeterra, which I think would be totally awesome. I think this is a really good build up in a view to really get right on the ball of making an MMO, because that would be amazing. So I did have a question about the show now that you finished it. This is one reason I wanted to bring this up last episode. And this isn't me just trying to bring stuff up and argue. But we talked about some stuff. I think it was last episode. And I wanted to bring this up then, but you are a slacker and hadn't watched it yet. So,
Okay.
we've mentioned shows doing the homosexual stuff in the shows. And obviously, you got Vi in the show with Caitlyn.
Not to spread hate or anything.
Yeah. I'm not spreading hate here. This is just my opinion and questionings. So obviously that was easy to call. The way they done their relationship in the show, it did not bother me at all. I thought it was pretty given, and it kind of went, kind of pretty organic with it. It didn't bother me. However, what are your thoughts on this random sex scene in the show between Vi and Kate?
So, though it was unnecessary, I feel like personally, I do feel like that they done it in a way that it didn't really necessarily make it awkward, and it, in my opinion, it did kind of play into it well. You know what I'm saying? Like it didn't feel like it was staged and forced and like other stuff
See,
does.
I'm on the opposite side. because
Really?
like my thing is if you were gonna do one, fine, but it was such a random moment to put it in. I thought like you're just forcing it at this point because you literally go right from Jinx talking to Vi and locking her in there and leaving, and then Kate just shows up and was like, I thought I'd find you here. You're so predictable. Let's have sex. What?
So I kind of hit a middle ground with it. I feel like the moment did call for them to have a big emotional thing. And I feel like had they left it with they just start kissing passionately, it would have fit the mood of overall everything going on. It would have fit the moment, and it would have been a very clear indicator to everyone watching. Okay, they've reconciled. They've given to their emotions. I feel like going as far as the full sex scene was just a little bit much and kind of felt like fan service to me. It didn't feel like it was necessary, and it was just thrown in for all the people who've played League for so long who had been shipping those two as a couple for so long, going, yes, finally, now we get to watch it play out.
See, my thing is like, so there was in I think it was the first season. There was a sex scene between Jace and whatever that other woman's name is.
Male.
Yeah, you already done you've done a straight sex scene, but the way they done it, it flowed. It fit at the time. She was seducing him and trying to groom him for this councilman thing. So I just felt so much, especially the way their relationship is in the show, so off and on type deal. And Vi had just come back and she's mad because Jinx was in jail and she goes to get her out and then randomly in the jail. I just felt like it was so forced. Like, does it bother me that they were going to do the sex scene between those two? No. But I felt like it was so forced and it was such an awkward moment in it. I was like, it didn't even make sense where it fit to me.
Yeah, like I said, I did feel like the moment needed something to show that they were finally going to break through and let their emotions really show to each other. But I don't feel like it needed to go that far. In a way, I kind of agree with you. I think it did kind of feel like they were saying, okay, we gave you a straight sex scene, so now we got to balance it with uh, same sex scene.
Yeah, well, that part
Um,
don't bother me. It was just like forcing it. I was just like, this doesn't even
yeah,
make sense at this
yeah,
point.
it didn't fit from a narrative point of view.
Right.
Overall, I enjoyed the series. Like both of you had said, I thought it was great. They did a good job with it all. I love the art style.
Yeah,
It's
the art
visually
style's amazing.
attractive.
I thought the
I
art
do feel like
style is
there's
what
a
made it over
few
the top.
I do feel like there's a few narrative things they could have done better. Like I love the fact that they did their tie-in with Noxus, so we know there is a larger power at work. I wish we had seen or heard something that hinted at either Ionia or Demacia a little bit better in the show. That way, going forward, it's not just kind of like, wait, what are these two factions?
Well, I think they're going to go to Noxus because it's going to play off of why Mel is Noxus, where she takes Embessa's spot that she's going to go back. So I think that's how they're going to pull that in. That's my
Um,
Yeah,
speculation.
yeah, I
on
don't
it.
mind that. I just wish they had done something to tie in some of the other major powers so that they don't just come out of nowhere.
So I think for me, the thing I loved the most about the show was the Jinx character. I felt like they just did. I know that that's kind of the focal point of the show, and I get that and I respect that. But as somebody who loves Jinx, will always loves Jinx, and was a Jinx main, and she was my first. She's what made me fall in love with League of Legends in the first place. Um, I think that they captured her character perfectly, especially the way how they started playing in and showing kind of how she had that schizophrenia aspect going on. Like just the whole Jinx character in total. Like every time that she was on the screen, I was just captivated by it. It drew me in.
Well, I
Now,
loved how they done with like her character of, even whenever she wasn't, when she was Jinx, but her eyes wasn't pink, and then
yeah,
she would start, like, she would hear something, and then when she was like closing her eyes, and in the way they done the art with like the crown drawings and the neon lights, and it was the like her siblings and friends that she had accidentally blew up and killed, and that's who she was seeing, and then she would become Jinx. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, that's pretty awesome. The way they actually
they
portray
gave
what you're
her
seeing, her mental state.
an almost Joker feel. I felt like.
Yeah, I can
Uh,
see that.
Maybe in her full Jinx persona, I could kind of go with that. But I feel like they did an amazing job showing how actual real triggers work for people who have any kind of mental issues or
Exactly.
PTSD and
Yeah,
Yeah,
stuff.
it
Like,
felt real.
yeah.
and it wasn't always the same type of thing. It was different stuff that could set it off, but stuff that did relate to events that had left these scars on her. So that was really great to see, anyhow, that they handled that in an amazing way and did it correctly.
So was you kind
I'm
of shocked for the show to take the twist from Jinx's blowing everything up to coming to aid on the Piltover side, and her and
Um,
Echo riding in and being the true heroes of the show?
I think that I think they done that part really well, but I understand why they quote unquote killed her character off there at the end because she had to have some sort of ending, I guess. But at the same time, I don't feel like that part kind of fit per se.
Well, I
I
didn't.
would
I thought the
disagree.
same thing at first until it may have been Taco that mentioned it, and I went back and rewatched that episode. And near the end there, whenever it's probably around the time you were talking about, right before Caitlyn walks in there to Vi and is asking her, "Are you still in this fight with me?" She's looking at the diagrams, and there are escape ducts that it shows on that diagram, kind of hinting that maybe Jinx went out one of the ducts.
I didn't catch that.
Yeah, I didn't either until Taco had mentioned it, and I went back, and I'm pretty sure that's what that is that she's looking at.
Yeah,
However,
you
they never
gotta.
really mentioned. I thought for sure like that is Warwick, but they never
Yeah,
bring the Warwick name
They
into it at all.
no, they did. I'm pretty positive. Now I could be wrong, but I'm about 90% sure that there is one brief mention that they reference the beast as Warwick.
Really,
if
I'm
so, I
pretty
missed it.
positive.
I missed it then, because he was. They kept referring to him as Vander and the man trying because Victor wanted to save him so bad, but the beast was too much, is what they had said. But and I never heard him say the name Warwick, and I was like, why are we bringing in all these other names? Jinx and Echo and Vi by their actual names, but we're not bringing Warwick's name into it. So that kind of bummed me out. But now that you said you heard it, that makes me feel a little better.
So I have to disagree with you all a bit on how they ended it. I felt like they actually showed a lot of character growth and real healing for Jinx leading up to it. The whole time with the little girl, for example, all of that passes between them to me was examples of her healing from all of her trauma and stuff. Her moment with Vi in the jail cell was her trying to say, I give up, I have to go to fix things. And while we didn't get the full scene, we did get the moment of Echo coming to her and even saying, I'm here for a friend type of thing. And it's implied that Echo lays out everything he experienced in the alternate world, explaining how things weren't actually her fault, they were accidents and stuff, to
Do you
give her a
think
little
she
bit of closure.
recognized Echo from the past version or in
No,
the
not like
other
that.
reality? Because when you watch the scene of, it's kind of like the time lapse of her helping Echo and Heimer. Um, so it's around the time she starts actually studying the equations on the board, and then she looks at this paper and unfolds it, and it's got a human on the left, a human on the right with an anomaly in the middle, and it's got an infinity symbol going around it. And then she's like staring deeply into Echo and this and that, and there's a lot of people online that are saying that she was learning on all of that, and that was one reason that she still had the arcane crystals with her in that realm still. And then whenever he's
Okay.
leaving and he's staring at the other version of him staring at her through it, so when they get to that other realm, that she remembers that.
So I wouldn't go to that point with it. I would say that it definitely creates an interesting thing to see what they'll do going forward, letting us know there are alternate timelines in League of Legends lore now,
Right.
and not just their alternate universe skins they throw out and stuff.
I'm a league
But
nerd, so I have to say the show was a 10 out of 10 for me. The ending was a little disappointing for me, just because I didn't want that to be the end of Arcane.
all
And
right,
once I heard
um,
that, I was like, well, that ending makes no sense to me then.
okay, so I feel like that version, that powder
Right.
realized what was going on there at the end, like realized what she had helped them create and what he was doing. But I don't think that Jinx recognized him when he came back to the main timeline. I think that it was more of him employing, reaching out to her based on their past together when they were young,
Right.
because he
See,
was the
that's
one
how
who'd
I
give
took
them the
it
tip that
until
set everything in
I tried
motion.
to do some digging online to see if Riot had kind of released anything on where they were going to go from here. And that was kind of like what a lot of people were going with. And I was like, well, I mean, I could kind of see that. I'm, I'm not going to lie. The biggest heartbreak of the whole show was Echo for me. I think he was the true hero.
Yeah, but he survived in the end, at least.
Yeah, but then he went back to the spot. His one moment he wanted to relive over and over in that one spot in that other reality once Jinx was gone all by herself. It's like the Rugrats movie with the house shoe all over again, man. Such a sad moment.
Now, I will say that is one thing about the show. There was a couple times that it really it really jerked at some tears.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it, and I liked how it wasn't like so childish. You know what I mean? Like it felt like just a mature show that
Yeah, I
I
think,
could easily. I mean, I thought it was amazing. I hope they release more of them.
in my opinion, if Riot is smart, they'll take a cue from Critical Role, and going forward, they'll have two different series in production so that they can drop them at least one a year,
Right.
uh, to really start fleshing out a lot more of the universe. Because outside of Zon and Piltover and Demacia and Noxus and Ionia, there's still Targon, there's still Izathica, there's still Freljord,
Yeah. There's
and numerous
actually
little
quite a bit.
places, including Bandle City, where Heimerdinger came from. Um, which that was the biggest thing that bothered me with the series, was no real closure for Heimerdinger. He gets left in the alternate reality, and that's it. You don't learn anything else about him or anything.
I think it's just where he wanted to stay. To be honest with you, he had a good thing going, man. He was playing his tunes. I enjoyed
Which I
it.
will say that was pretty great watching him play and everything.
Okay, we've rambled on about Arcane enough. I apologize, but
Um, I would
it's
like
worth
to
the
take
watch
the
if you
time.
haven't watched.
I would like to take the time to give a shout out to our sponsor, Angry Vet Nation.
Woohoo!
Um,
Whoa!
at Angry Vet Nation, they're on a mission to empower veterans and first responders to find new purpose and connection through streaming. Basically, what this group does is they provide funding, state of the art equipment, and the resources they need to launch and grow their channels.
Or Quartmark.
With, whether it's a professional gaming rig, professional streaming gear, or just mentoring, they ensure that all heroes on the front lines have everything they need to succeed. If you are a first responder, or I cannot speak, this is a bad time to have word vomit while you're on a podcast. But if you are a first responder or a veteran and you think you might want to get into streaming and you just don't know where to go, you don't know what to buy, reach out at angryvetnation.org, fill out an application. Once you're vetted,
It
they
does
can get
take
you
some. That
the
process
help you
does
need.
take some time. So if you were interested in it, make sure you
Actually,
get your application in.
I think I seen an email. Do we still have Angry Vet Nation on chat on Twitch right now?
I believe
Yeah.
so.
Amy, did you say that there was already a backlog? Is that what I heard?
Last episode, they told us there was a backlog. It could take anywhere from 1 to 3 months to process the applications. So if you're interested, don't hesitate. Apply today. If you just want information about it, you can
We are
reach
now
out to
at
them on
6
there as well.
months backlog. They said.
Oh, wow. It's
Dang.
doubled since
Hey,
last week.
listen, Angry Vet Nation is awesome sauce. If you don't like it, then get over it.
Right.
There. Boom. Mic drop. Okay. Let's go to napkins. We
Got
currently have
anything?
689 pending applications. That is amazing.
It is.
Wow.
Dude, that's awesome.
That is honestly wow.
Right?
So I have some things I want to talk about, but it's gonna kind of go all over the place. So y'all got to bear with me here for
Bro,
a minute.
what is this podcast about?
Anything and everything that comes to mind, bro.
Then we gonna bounce. If you bouncing, we bouncing with you.
So I think I know your guys' take on this already, but if somebody wants to play devil's advocate, that's also cool. What are your guys? Okay, I'm trying to think of how to set this up properly. Do you guys believe in somebody having a soulmate? One particular person that they are bound to spend the rest of their life with,
Whether they find them or not.
whether they find them or not.
I would go with yes. Just because, I was married before. I thought I had found what I would say was my soulmate. And then once, all that crashed and burned. And I really honestly wasn't looking for anything, and I was ready to just be done and give up. That was when I actually met my wife, and it was like when everything connects so natural, and they are literally just like your best friend. To me, that is a soulmate, and I think that's when I found mine. But I do think that everyone has somebody that's made for them, that completes them and complements them in every way possible, whether they find them or not. I think that's a different story because some people don't want to look. Some people just don't believe in it, and their soulmates probably sitting somewhere thinking the same thing.
So I'm going to go the opposite route and say not one person, but I'll say there are multiple people that could be soulmates, but it takes both parties actually making an effort for each other when they find each other. If one says, you know what, this is too hard, I'm not dealing with it, and walks away, it breaks that connection and you find someone else as you keep going. That's kind of the way I see it.
Shout out alert. We just got 2 applicants from the show. We got them, guys. Give us time. Updates with your place in line will be sent at least one time a week. Holy moly! From our show? That's awesome sauce.
That is. But
We're kind of a big deal.
as I was saying, I feel like so like I've been married before, and I feel like had she stayed, true to the marriage and actually been dedicated to the marriage, it would have continued that we were like soulmates. But she chose other things outside of the marriage, and I'll just be honest, she chose drugs and refused to get help about it. And I just couldn't deal with that. That was too much. It was driving me insane. It was going to cause me to kill myself, just to be honest.
Don't get me
And
started
I
on the crackheads. We'll be spreading hate.
and I couldn't do it. I flat out told her, "Hey, no, this ain't going to work. If you won't get help that you need, I can't be here for this." And I walked away and ended things there. So I think that you can find other people, but it takes them actually desiring to spend their life with you too for it to work.
So you essentially believe that you can have more than one soulmate, but you have quote unquote somebody out there that's kind of made for you, so to speak. Or did I just completely mishear every bit of that?
More or less, like wouldn't put an exact number on it, but I would say that there's like so many that each person has where they could be soulmates together. And when you find one, that list just kind of disappears until one or the other decides, no, this isn't working, and then it breaks that connection.
But see it the way I see it, I think there's somebody that when you meet, like everything just nothing's forced, everything just feels so natural, and they you complement each other, and they complete you where you lack, and you complete them where they lack, and you won't have that with every one of those, but that one person you will. So that's where I'm kind of seeing it from. Like there is that one person that you will find, and
And that brings me into the second part of my multi-topic or multi-question topic or whatever.
mhm.
Um, this is only part two. It's got a couple parts. Um, so first off, the soulmate part. I believe that there is one specific person, and I believe that if you are not on track to meet whatever you believe, for me personally, I believe it's God, will push you, and most of the time in a way that you won't even expect, will push you to cross paths. And then from there, it's up to you to pick up on what God is trying to put in front of you. Um, that's going to be my second part. I'm changing the order. That's going to be my second part. How do you know, or how do you believe that you will come across your soulmate? Like, do you believe that it's going to be on a dating app, or do you believe that no matter what you do in this life, if you have somebody meant for you, that God's going to send them your way?
Well, I think it depends on if I mean if you're currently looking to find somebody and you're on dating apps, can you find them that way? Yeah, I think you can. Um, Me personally, I wasn't looking. I was actually at work and I went to the hospital that she was working at. Ran into her. I hadn't talked to her in years since high school, and like just laughing and talking. First time we'd seen each other in years, and there was like I had the butterflies and whatnot, but I didn't. But it was like everything flowed. And then I got back down to the truck, and I was like, I'm not gonna message her. I'm not gonna message her. Okay, I'm gonna message her. And then it just kind of connected, and everything happened. You know what I mean? I think it depends if you're actively like dating and looking for someone. I think you can find them that way. Um, or if you're not, and like you said, like God will just put them right in your path one way or another.
Yeah, I would kind of agree. I think that it is possible to come across them if you're actively looking, and it's also possible that God will just kind of put you two in each other's way, and that can happen too.
So I'm gonna out myself here. I agree with you completely on both standpoints. I believe that it can be if you're on a dating app, and I can also believe that or agree that um, God will put them in your path if you're being stubborn. But I'm gonna out myself here and say that just like Medic mentioned with his first marriage, I thought my first marriage was who I was gonna spend the rest of my life with. It wasn't until recently, after 8 years, that my eyes were truly opened that it was not what I thought it was. Even though everybody around me was telling me and trying to um, get me to see the truth. So, my question is, how do you know what's real versus what's not real?
What do you mean?
I would
What's real? What's not real?
How do you know if you're with somebody or you meet somebody,
Hmm.
how do you know that that's your soulmate and not a wolf in sheep's clothing, so to speak?
so you the thing about it is even when we're with someone we know isn't right for us and everything, it's not really our emotions or our guts that are telling us that. It's usually our own minds. We're telling ourselves, oh, it's just, I'm nervous about this or I'm worried about that. I'm just looking for an excuse because I'm getting bored or something like that. Whereas your gut will be telling you the whole time, this isn't going to work. Like, you know, this is wrong. You know, it's not working. Why are you fighting to stay in this? And I can relate to you there. You know, both of you are very aware of how long I fought to try and hold my marriage together
Hint
that I
to
shouldn't have
viewers:
fought.
he's a dum dum.
Yeah, I learned the hard way that sometimes you have to quit being stubborn and saying, no, I don't want to be the reason that this doesn't work. I want to do everything I can. And you have to accept that, no, if both parties aren't going to put the work in and do what needs to be done, it's just not going to work. And you have to be grown up enough and mature enough to just admit it and walk away from it.
So this is the way I look at it, and this is, you can kind of take a look at it from the biblical aspect too. Um, if you look at the way God laid it out, like He made man, woman, um, they become one
Not to spread
flesh,
hate or anything
and
for
they
people that
leave
don't
the mother
believe.
and father to become one flesh. So the way He put that order in is that it's God first, then it's you and your spouse before anything, before your parents, before your children, whatever. So if you look at it from that way, when it's just you and your spouse in your marriage, and say when you're home and it's just you all, or it's just you all and the kids, whatever, if you are not happy, if it is a constant fight and argue, if it is you walking on eggshells because you're afraid no matter what you do, it's going to be another fight and you don't want to do it, because when you argue and you fight constantly like that in a marriage, it does nothing but drain the life out of you, out of the marriage itself. There's nothing good that comes from it, really. And so when you're at that point of everything, I feel so miserable. I feel so depressed. I feel so, oh, I can't take this anymore. You know it's not real. Whether you want to face that fact or not, eventually it will. I mean, and there may be times where you think, you all get along, and well, this is going good. We're happy, whatever. And then the next day, or it's an every week thing, or constantly there has to be arguments thrown in there. And then in those arguments, when you have constant things brought up in your arguments of, even if you're not meaning it and you're saying, I hate you, or if you're saying you're going to leave and divorce, or even if you're joking in that, to me, that's just opening that up for an option which shouldn't be there in the first place, so it's not real.
Yeah, I mean,
That's like a deeper aspect to look at it, but that's how I view it. To me, like, if you're in your marriage and you're not happy, and you're trying, it's
Man,
not real. It ain't gonna make.
this is
Yeah,
just gonna keep getting deeper with the way my brain's working right now because I've got a lot of stuff in here that's getting ready to come out. Go ahead,
that's
Taco.
that's more or less what I was saying. Like, you can sit there and tell yourself, well, it's got to just be me that it's not working for, and try and fight through it because you do have good days or something. But deep down, you know better. Deep down, you feel different. Even all of my coworkers had made comments within a month of me separating and filing for divorce, going, "Oh, you're like a different person now. What changed? What happened? You talk more, you interact more, you're actually laughing more often." And it took me taking a step back and looking at that, going, "Oh, I really was miserable. I really was fighting for something that wasn't going to last, that was just killing me inside."
Not
So,
to mention, like I saw a meme yesterday, and I sent it to my wife. I think it was yesterday, and it said for the 897th time or whatever, uh, I get to see my wife naked, and all I'm telling myself is, "Don't cry. This is real. Don't cry. This is real." Like if you don't have, like when you look at your wife and you don't see, like I love this woman. I love this woman. Then you've already lost what a marriage should be anyway.
Yep.
so my next thing, and this is gonna, like I said, we're gonna spend a minute on this. So if you guys aren't into this, the listeners, I apologize because there's a lot going through my head, and that's what this podcast is about. So my next question, for me personally, I recognized that after, especially after I left,
Mm-hmm.
that months before I left, I was preparing myself to leave, if that makes sense. So I was emotionally and mentally
Ready. You
disconnecting
just
myself
okay.
from the relationship prior to me leaving. Do you feel like that's a normal thing to do, and why or why not?
Uh, well,
And also keep in mind I was with this person for 8 years. So
okay. Well, see, I it's kind of hard for me to answer that one because I was at like around 12 years when I divorced, and like it was the constant fighting. I felt like, and I was walking on eggshells, and I was trying to do everything I could. I was working like stupid hours, like 120 hours a week, and I would come home, and I was trying to help out and do everything I could at the house because I knew I hadn't been at the house. So when I got there, I wanted to help take stress off of her, and I was trying to put myself into the marriage, and it didn't matter what I done. I felt like we had to fight and argue about something, and it was so mentally exhausting. And I mean, and I've dealt with depression before, but it was like I could just feel it creeping back up, like it was just holding the collar of my shirt, if that makes sense. And I noticed my. I don't know if I was doing what you were talking about, like, and not realizing it, because I did notice myself, like there was, like when I looked at her, like I didn't felt like I should towards a wife. You know what I mean? And then eventually, like I was doing the eggshells thing, trying to do what I could, and then it was just one little thing that just I'd had it, and that switch flipped, and I was just done. Like I was done with it. I'd made my mind up. Nope, done. Not doing this anymore. I'm not spending the rest of my life so miserable and depressed. My kids seeing this, thinking this is what a marriage should be, and then growing up and not and thinking, well, I gotta be depressed now too. Like it just something just flipped. I was done. Like I don't know how to explain it. It was like somebody pulled the plug, and I don't know if I was doing what you were talking about and not realizing it, because I do know that like I wasn't feeling the way I should have, but purposely knowing like I'm disconnecting, I don't think I did.
To add a little bit of clarity, I feel like for me, my eyes were starting to be opened to the manipulation that I was under.
Right.
I feel like that the person I was with made it their life mission to keep me constantly on the edge because it was easier to control and manipulate me that way. And I felt like, because I'd left before, but it never stuck. And I felt like that I'd made my mind up that I was truly done. So that was the point of me emotionally and mentally disconnecting myself so that I couldn't be pulled back, if that makes sense.
I can see that.
Yeah. Yeah, I can get that. For me, it was more like how it was for Medic, about 3 weeks or so beforehand. I came to the realization that I don't feel the same about her anymore. I feel like she's more of a burden and she's just constantly using me and taking advantage of me instead of being in the marriage. And I finally gave her like an ultimatum, like either you choose the marriage or you choose the drugs. And she apparently chose the drugs. I mean, I gave her what my grounds were for it, and she refused them. And I said, okay, I'm done then. And immediately started packing everything. And within a short time span, had filed and got divorced and everything.
Do you regret it?
No, not at all. After about a month, everybody, when you have a breakup or a split, you go through your spell of recovering from it. But after about a month, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I am happier. I am better, and I'm doing a whole lot better now.
So that's going to bring, I think, depends on how this goes because I never know what's going to pop into my head. But that's going to, it's really going to bring me, I think, to the final point, and I'm about to out myself on this podcast. Um, so recently, and I happen to know for a fact she's listening to us this morning, so I feel confident in saying this. There was somebody that reached out to me that I was not expecting whatsoever. One thing led to another, and we are kind of, I guess you would say, talking, quote unquote. And the reason that brought all this up this morning, and don't get me wrong, taking everything slow, really just trying to work through things and see if we're compatible. But for me personally, it's it's unlike anything at all that I've ever experienced before, if that makes sense. Like for me, um, she really, I actually feel cared for. Not, not, not to say that I didn't before, but I honestly feel like that she wants what's best for me, regardless, if that makes sense. And like I said, it's really hard to explain and put into words, but like, okay, for one, you guys are my brothers, literal brothers. You know how I am. For me to open up to somebody is a big thing. I tend to build walls. I tend to have trust issues. I always have. But it was easy to open up, if that makes sense. And maybe I'm thinking about it and being too overly cautious because of everything. But is it normal to be paranoid? I guess is what I'm saying. Is it normal to have that? Is it normal to have that almost too good to be true feeling?
Mm, as far as if that's a normal thing, I thought it when I met Chas. I thought that it was too good to be true. Because kind of like you were talking about, like I never just connected with somebody like that. Like it scared me and threw me off. You know what I mean? Like I was not expecting it.
So, especially given, everything, well, all three of us have been through our lives. We won't air all of that right now, but yeah, it's normal for you to have thoughts like that. I mean, we've all been through plenty to give us reason to be paranoid about things like that. Even the person that I dated after getting divorced, I had the same moment at first. Like, I don't know about this. Everything seems too good to be true. And, I was head over heels for her. I thought it was going to be the real deal and last forever. But after so long, her entire demeanor in the relationship switched and changed, and it didn't work out. In the long run, that may be for the better, even. But yeah, I would say it's normal, and there's no reason to feel bad about it. It's a common thing to deal with.
I think the thing that makes it so different is I'm so used to being tore down, and she does the opposite. If she recognizes that I'm down or having a stressful day or whatever, she does everything in her power to make it better. And I think for me, because I'm not used to it, it almost freaks me out, but in a good way, if that makes sense.
I don't think there's anything wrong with being kind of hesitant, especially if when you build walls and then opening up to somebody and them accepting you. Um, so I am going to take this a little bit deeper, and I'm going to throw you a question though, just to make you think, because you're the one with all these deep questions and diving into this, and this is kind of playing maybe a little bit of devil's advocate. So you just said you're not used to feeling you like somebody treating you like a person, pretty much. Um, do you think that's one reason that you feel like everything is clicking so good because it's the first person that you've talked to in 8 years that's treated you like a human being?
At first, at first, I would say that was accurate, but there is genuinely so much that we click on, if that makes sense. Even down to some family stuff that is almost the same. That sounds bad.
Given your situation, sure does.
No, what I mean by that is like, okay, for example, everybody knows us in the personal sense that we're all Jays.
And you
Yeah.
said this person is listening to us right now,
She's
live,
she's listening to us at this very moment
on Twitch,
on Twitch.
and hasn't dropped a follow.
Oh, she
She's
getting
out.
called out.
She's out. She's out.
She getting
Cut
called out.
off. Cut off.
What not eating peanut butter? You're not part of the family if you don't like peanut butter.
That kind of threw me off there with peanut butter.
But
Hey, we got the follow in. Ha! Scammed you.
I don't know. I don't really know how to explain it, but there's so much that we click with, and the best way I can explain it, and I know that this is, I'm not going to say that on live. Never mind.
I will say this. Especially given what you have went through, even before recently, before December. Take it back to the whole, however long you want. every you mentioned earlier, you had left before and whatnot. Given if you think back to that first time you ever left, from that point forward, that much time has went by of you enduring that and being beat down and feeling how you feel. You won't ever know if you really connect with people until you actually start talking and opening up to them. Is it a scary thing? Yeah. Will it make you feel paranoid? Yeah. But I don't think, I mean, you brought up like the soulmate thing. I don't think you can really meet one unless you start doing that. I don't think it's abnormal to be paranoid about it and to think things couldn't be too good to be true. Um, but I think taking those first steps of actually getting to know somebody and having somebody treat you like a person, that's how you're going to get growth and find somebody.
It's also the hardest step to take too. Trust me there. I'm a lot like you when it comes to that stuff. I'm not a very emotional person. I keep it pretty tight to me. Don't really open up about much, but actually making yourself open up to people, whether intentional or not, can be the hardest thing for you to adjust to. And it can create those doubts of, is this too much? Is this too good to be true type of thing? And I have to say, it is very normal. And like Medic said, after a while, if you're doing that, it does make it possible to find the person for you, and it does make it work a little better for you because then you start having less doubts and you start feeling more, oh, okay, this is real. This is normal. This is what I should be feeling type of thing.
That's
Well,
the
see,
scariest thing about any relationship is until you unless you can open up completely to somebody, then you won't ever know if something's real anyway. Because if you can't open
well,
up to them, you can't grow as a couple anyway.
well, to be honest with you, that's honestly um what makes this feel so different because it wasn't hard.
Right.
It wasn't hard to open up. Um, I could show you chat logs. We've talked about anything and everything under the sun, and it was easy to talk about. I never got that scared feeling. I never got that is this going to scare her away feeling. Um, given I'm not going to say that on stream either, but uh, I don't know. It just it it's everything that we've talked about has been easy. Everything that letting her in has been easy. Um, and I think that that's part of what I was talking about it feeling scary, more or less. I wouldn't say paranoid. Paranoid wouldn't be a good word, but scary. Scary would be a better word.
I get it. I mean, my first date with my wife was I ran into her coming out of a store. She had just got off work. It was kind of late. She was hungry. We went through McDonald's drive-through and sat in the McDonald's parking lot and just talked literally for like 4 hours. And I didn't really open up to anybody then. I was in a dark place and everything just connected and felt natural. And I literally just blah and spit everything out, threw it all out there, and she done the same back. And I was like, she can open up to me, then hey, we can actually grow. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, it was that's how you connect with somebody. That's how you find out if it is anything anyway. Taco.
I, you all said everything. Like, that's
Oh, we
pretty
mic
much
dropped,
it.
huh?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, it isn't necessarily hard to open up to them. It's more that it's hard for you to accept that you're opening up to them without feeling scared about it.
Hey, see, somebody picked up on it. The mic dropped. They got us. Any more to your topic, sir?
Um, I don't really know. I guess I'll end it. I'll end my little segment by saying this. Though it is scary, I am excited for wherever this is going to go. I'm excited to see the future.
It's good to actually look forward to the future for once, ain't it?
It is.
Okay, we are a little bit over an hour right now. You got a topic, Taco?
Um, I guess we could talk about one thing since you all are very familiar with the Harry Potter franchise.
Love Harry Potter.
How do you all feel about when they make changes in adaptations? Like the books started coming out long before the movies.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you've read all the books.
Yes, twice,
How did
three
you
times.
feel about how did you feel about changes they made between the books and the movies?
They dropped the ball.
So
Don't get
you
me
feel like
wrong, I like the movies, but the books are about 100 times better. They
so you
lost
feel
so
like they
much
lost a lot.
detail. Detail is what makes stuff. Um, doesn't matter if it's stories, movies, pictures, whatever. You got to have the details. And when they went to changing, they lost so much detail, and it doesn't really line up with the books. And but don't get me wrong, I like the movies a lot too.
So how do you feel about the noise going around that Warner Brothers is looking to revive it as a full series now instead of a movie franchise?
It'd be terrible.
You don't think they'll succeed with it, even though they would have like a full season to flesh out one book?
Listen, Harry ain't a kid anymore. Okay? You ain't gonna find another Harry Potter that was Harry Potter. That's like, as bad as I want to say it, Tobey Maguire will always be Spider-Man.
See, I like Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. I still feel like he was a great one and everything, but to me, it's not the same as the live action Batmans, for example. Like, to me, Michael Keaton is Batman. But for me, with Spider-Man, I feel like Tom Holland has come in and really nailed the role. He's made it his own and kind of revived it in a way that I'm fine with. I actually love it.
Yeah, I think he
And in a
does a
lot of
really
ways,
good.
I like it more.
I think he does a really good job as Spider-Man. But it's like when you're younger and you first watched the Spider-Man movie, watching those series with Tobey Maguire and whatnot, and you were like, Spider-Man's pretty dope. I forgot. And then, I mean, you're not gonna. It's like when they switched Dumbledore in the Harry Potter movies. That second Dumbledore was terrible. You
So
can't replace Dumbledore. You
I
can't
actually
replace Snape,
wouldn't
bro.
I actually wouldn't mind if
You better hurry,
they were to
Napkins.
give us a series on it because I feel like they could do more justice to a lot of the stuff they have to cut from the movies. I do
Well,
feel
I
like
think
casting
if
it could be an issue, like just finding people to actually personify those roles could be an issue because even though Snape in the books is described completely differently than how Alan Rickman looked and portrayed him, Alan Rickman is Snape. It's like Hugh
right.
Jackman is Wolverine, even though he
Instead of a
doesn't meet
series,
the.
I think they should do two things. Instead of releasing a series, I would like to see them do the full movie of The Cursed Child. I know they had talked about it before. I don't know if they ever went through with it. And then second of all, I would it would be too hard to do technically because he has passed. But I would 10 to 1 rather watch the whole Harry Potter series all over again through Snape's point of view of everything than to start a new series.
What about if the series was done as Snape's point of view, though?
Okay, now if you're gonna twist my arm, I'll be okay with it.
I think that could actually be a pretty cool take on it. Give us Snape's point of view the entire time and not just the
Bro, Snape
one
was
little
was
snippet
the
snippet
hero.
we get.
Him and
I
Neville.
mean, I won't go as far as agreeing with you about Snape there, because in a lot of ways he was a terrible person, picking on a child
Hey,
because he reminded him of his
he
childhood
was
bully.
in love. What do you
But
think we've
still,
talked about for the last 30 minutes?
e- even though he was in love with Lily, it doesn't excuse the fact that he picked on Harry at every chance he got just because Harry looked like his father. Like that's a pretty terrible thing to do as a grown
I
adult.
don't think it's so. Well, see, I look at it different though. I don't think it's so much picking on him because he looks like his father. I think he's technically picking on him like tough love. I want you to be prepared and make sure that you are going to be ready for what's coming against you.
Uh, I don't know. I can't really see it that
Because
far.
he had made the promise to Lily of protecting him, and he knew that
Yeah,
he was kind of playing both sides and trying, doing the secret agent thing. And I think he knew what was going to be coming, and he knew how it was going to have to end and everything, and he wanted Harry to be more prepared.
I don't know. I don't quite see it to that level because in a lot of ways he pushed Harry to do a lot of things that he condemned James for and that he even came against Harry for. Like, had he not been picking on Harry for so long, Harry never would have used the spells he created with his chemistry book when he named himself the Half-Blood Prince.
Okay, give me an example. How do you pick on him?
Well, constantly when they're in class, like no matter what Harry did for any of his assignments, he's always belittling him, even when Harry's succeeding at them better than, like say Malfoy, for example.
You mean when he wasn't paying attention in class, and you're supposed to pay attention in class?
No, I'm like talking about even with the Half-Blood Prince book, for example. There are many moments when he's teaching Defense Against the Dark Arts where Harry is actually excelling because he's naturally gifted at those types of spells, but he's still picking on him and pointing him out like, no, you're doing this wrong, Potter, even though he's doing better than the other students.
Because he wants him to be better. I don't know how you're not getting this.
Okay, I can see that you're just an apologist for Snape, so.
Listen, the man done an amazing role, or done an amazing job with that role. Like,
I agree. Like
give him
Alan
all the
Rickman knocked
credit
it
you
out of the
can.
park.
Don't you down him one bit.
I'm
Jimmy
not
chop you.
I'm not disparaging Alan Rickman's portrayal of Snape in the movies at all. I think he knocked it out of the park. That's why I could struggle no matter who they were to cast to play Snape in anything going forward with accepting it. It's just like Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, even though he doesn't match Wolverine from any of the other media, he personifies the character so much that I'll never see anyone else in that role.
I got you. I got you. Are you back, Napkins? No. Okay.
Apparently not.
Um. So while we're waiting on him anyway, um, according to Twitch right now, we have 10 viewers watching. Okay. This
Uh-huh.
podcast is literally anything and everything, and we've got a little over 15 minutes left, right?
Yes, if we're gonna
So
keep it
if
at roughly
anybody
the
that
same time.
is watching wants to throw a random thing out, go for it. And I was going to mention, so I don't think Napkins has mentioned it this episode. If anybody does have any topics they want to hear us discuss, you want to argue with us, come on live on the show, whatever, shoot a email to btq at slimchancegaming.com. Is that what it was?
I think so.
So that
So-
we can get that. And for real, anybody wants to come on the show, absolutely. I think that would be a blast. You want to
Oh yeah,
argue and debate stuff? Let's do it.
as we've said before, if you want to come on and have a real conversation or debate, that's fine. If you want to come on with an attitude, don't get too mad when we come back at you with that because we will.
And don't forget, we ain't spreading hate. We just out here spreading love. Spreading truth, mic dropping, and whatnot. You know how we do.
But yeah, if any of the viewers have a thought they want to throw out randomly, we don't care to go ahead and try and tackle it a little bit.
I will say, I've this episode has took a little bit of a turn and a different than how the first two have been, but I liked it. I like the fact
Yeah.
that Napkins had something on his heart and he threw it out there, and that's what we discussed.
Yeah, I
That
feel
was
like
good.
I feel like I've got a name for this episode because of that too. I
Oh
think it's
yeah,
got to be named. Yeah,
the
it's got to be named. What's love got to do with it?
and we got a free follow. Hey,
Yeah,
can't
that's
beat it.
always a nice thing.
You can't beat that. Maybe that's why Napkins stepped away.
So I do want to bring up one little thing that I have to ask you about. The backdrop here on the stream, the Slim Chance Gaming one, it excludes me for some reason.
What?
Yeah, the follow us on socials, the Twitch TV stuff.
Ugh,
I'm not in it.
I'm a looking. Oh, you was in it. Oh, I bet it switched it whenever I was moving the sponsor logo so it wasn't blocking the chat, and I accidentally pulled the all the
No,
text and had to retype it and everything.
I didn't see it last week either, but I was gonna wait and see if it was an error
Oh,
last week.
quit you whining! I'll put you on there. Good Lord, have mercy.
Lord, Napkins is taking so long.
We do have the YouTube channel that everybody should check out and subscribe to. Leave likes and comments and whatnot. It's Slim Chance Gaming Crew. And then we all have our own Twitches that we hop on every now and then, do different things. I am working on getting a set schedule on my Twitch, rocking and rolling, but I have to wait until Tuesday morning because I got physical therapy and I got to figure out how often I got to go to that and everything.
Yeah, I get that. I've also been trying to work on a schedule for my stuff. I mostly do just solo streams. Every now and then I hop on with everybody else when I can, but I tend to play some different picks of games. So if you like odd games, that might be a place to look at. If you like simulators, definitely keep up with Napkins.
Yes, sir. Sorry about the.
Oh, look who finally decided to present
Listen,
us.
that was a very, very, very important phone call, and
Was it from Vet?
no, all
No,
I
it
can
wasn't.
say is check our group chats, and you'll know.
Yeah, I already saw it. I already saw it. Napkins.
Yes, sir.
So we've got about 12 minutes or so. Let's talk about something.
Okay. What do you want to talk about?
So I made the comment a while ago that this episode took a little bit of a twist. You know, it's been a little different than the first two, but I like the fact that you had something that you had on your heart and you was dealing with, and that's what we discussed. Do you think that helps you more that we do it that way?
Honestly, yes. That's something. I'm not gonna lie to you. So that's something that I've wanted to really talk to somebody about, just to kind of quote unquote get a feel for
Putting your
someone else's
feelers out
perspective. Yeah, and I feel like doing it here is almost easier than doing it in like a one-on-one with somebody.
because of the angry vet nations here.
Yeah, I got an army backing me up.
That's right. They got you six. I got you. Um, I did go ahead and let everybody know that if they had any topics or wanted to come on the show or anything, to drop an email. I think I said the right email. btq@slimchancegaming.com.
Yes. Also, I'm gonna throw this out there. Wait, hang on.
No, he's not. It's a boomerang.
Yes, I am.
Oh, his boomerang came
Angry
back.
Vet Nation has very graciously offered to extend a small little page on their website. So, for all those people out there that want to talk to us anonymously and don't want to use their email, um, according to Vet, by the end of today, probably within the next hour, if you go to angryvetnation.org, there will be a button that says BTQ, and you can click on that and fill out a contact form, and it's completely anonymous. And that will come to us and let us talk about it on the show.
That
Awesome.
is awesome sauce.
And coming soon, Angry Vet Nation is also going to help with this. I hope it's okay that I'm saying all this, Vet. But Angry Vet Nation is also, since they are our sponsor, they have also very graciously offered to help us get a Beyond the Quest official website launched.
Beyond the quest.
That'll be coming soon. Big things are happening.
I like
Kind
it.
of a big deal.
I like it. So that means if you think we're spreading hate, go fill out a thing and get on the show. Tell me why I'm spreading hate.
What are we saying that's so hateful?
I mean, you're always hateful.
That's true. I've been told that many times.
You never took a hint.
I just don't care. Let's be honest. I don't have enough emotional intelligence to really care if people like me or not. Goes along with that whole tism thing we've talked about before with me.
Once again, Callistus was supposed to try and make it to the show, but the poor failure just can't wake up.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to schedule a special episode in an afternoon or
I
an
think
evening
what I'm going
just
to
to get him on.
do is one Sunday night, in order to get him on the show, I'm just going to pull an all-nighter with him gaming, keep him up till 9 a.m., and get him on the show.
I mean,
So he
why
falls
not? That's
asleep
what I
on the
do.
show.
That's my goal. And I would like for maybe next episode, just to give you guys a heads up. And
But the bad part is that he's probably going to be like slurring his words, if you catch my drift.
oh yeah, most definitely.
The longer he stays awake, the worse it gets.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Which, depending, I don't know if I'll be here next episode or not because of work. I don't know yet.
Okay. Well, you make sure you tune in then if you can, because kind of give you even viewers kind of a heads up. One topic I want to kind of dive into next episode because we just don't have enough time today. I want to get your all's feedbacks and opinions, especially dealing with career choices and first responders, on how being a first responder or dealing in those environments, such as like calls you take as a dispatcher, or even when you worked in corrections, the EMS side and everything of those jobs, on how they changed you for the good and better. I think that would be a good topic.
Yeah, that sounds like a really good one. So hopefully it'll work out to where I am able to be here
we
next
can't.
week.
We got 7 minutes. Napkins. We got 7 minutes, and they want deeper on Napkins' love life. They're invested here.
Yeah.
You got 7 minutes. Don't leave them on the cliff.
Probably not this episode.
And they want to know what he's keeping from us, Mr. Not saying that on stream. Yeah,
This is a public.
You're getting called out. This is raw footage, unedited, baby.
But to be
This
fair,
is
this
a,
is private, personal things that he's not saying on stream.
Yeah, we'll just leave it at the dueling banjos, and
if
we'll go from there.
If you ain't picking it up from her,
Okay, let's
you
just.
don't wanna know.
I'll end it on this. Given the situation, as far as how I met this mystery person who popped up in chat earlier, given the situation, given the way that we were,
I'm not gonna lie,
pushed-
you're doing such a good job at making this whole thing sound so mysterious.
Yeah,
Like
making it
I
sound
know
like
what
it's
you're talking
huge.
about, and I'm invested in this story.
The way that we were pushed to talk to each other is honestly crazy, kind of hilarious. Um, the person that ruined my marriage is also the best wingman in the world. Um, and I'll leave it at that for now. I'll leave it at that for now. I got to step away again, guys. I'm sorry.
And
Oh,
we
you're
will
fine.
clarify
We're
that
gonna
the
be
dueling
closing here in
banjos
a minute.
does not involve napkins. It involves the person that he was married to. So people don't go away thinking that napkins is the one.
Playing the banjo.
Right.
He is dealing with some phone calls this morning, but they are very important phone calls that he's dealing with. So we can't hate on him too much this morning. Plus, the poor fella ain't been to bed yet.
Nope. He's been up all night.
Daggone. Poor thing. Makes you just want to wrap your arms around him, give him a big old hug. Well, before we do end this episode, do you have any ideas
I'm back. That was a short
if you
call.
can't make it next week that you would like for us to discuss? Or do you want to think about it and let me know?
I can try and think of some for you, but right off now, I don't have anything.
Okay. No problemo. You back, Napkins?
Yeah.
Best wingman, my lord. Bro, you got them captivated with your story.
Yeah. They're going to start tuning in just because it's like a soap opera.
He ruins your marriage and finds a soulmate for you? Question marks? Bro, this is Lifetime movies. I want a book written by Napkins.
We've often said that if our life was written down, it could turn into either a soap opera or a book series.
Hey, I did hear, which I don't know, I don't even know what a blog is, but that feels like something Napkins could write his stories in.
Indeed it does. Indeed it does.
I'm just saying. I'm just throwing it out there.
Are you telling me that if we do
The
have a
whole
blog,
office is hooked. I should be passing out popcorn.
Yeah, they'll be tuning in every week just to listen to the soap opera that Napkins has created for them now.
I'm telling you. We're going to get on here next week, and I'm going to be like, so, with your job, how did this blah, blah, blah? And they're going to be like, wait. How are you and the mystery woman? A new rule. Every Monday, 9 a.m., the office shuts down for the show. Bro, if you can't find a sponsor that does this, you out of luck.
You're out of luck. People.
It don't get no better.
Yeah, you're gonna be asking me questions about my job, and they're gonna be like, "What about the woman?"
Right? I'm telling you, you've got them hooked here.
Wait. We got to hear updates. You can get into the cool stuff later. We need these updates now.
So, by the way, with this mystery woman, so they know your entire situation.
They know it all.
And they are accepting and seeing this from your point of view?
You're making me tiptoe the line real hard here.
Bro, I'm just trying to keep the views up.
They were directly affected by the same situation.
Okay, I guess what I'm really trying to get an answer to here, do they like banjo music or not?
No.
Okay.
No, not at all.
Uh-oh. What?
You got Amy having a freak out meltdown now.
What did you say? Back that up. What did you say?
when he
I
said they were
said
directly
they
affected
were
by
directly.
the situation.
Lord, please, no banjo music. Okay. Whew! I was
They
worried for a minute.
what I said was
Uh-huh.
that they are directly affected by the same situation.
Makes
Yeah, I
sense.
think that's what caused her to have the meltdown there is she's like, wait. You're saying that this person was affected as well. Now I need to know more.
So I don't know if she's waiting on you to speak.
I don't either.
Or she's typing a
I
paragraph
know,
of
right?
questions.
One of y'all better hurry now.
I
I
need
don't know
more
what to say
coffee.
here.
So while they try and solve their stalemate, I'm grabbing more coffee.
Oh, that's fine. We are at an hour and 30 minutes, sir. Napkins.
Hey, it can run long if it needs to.
By the way, um, how are you handling the taking over the editing and your job and everything that you're going through and whatnot?
Listen, so on a personal note, as far as the editing goes, I really haven't dove into it because, to my knowledge, there's not really anything on the drive for me to edit other than your videos, which I was assuming that you were still editing. But,
The
um,
same person who ruined your marriage pushed you to the mystery woman, your soulmate, and was directly affected. Yes.
yes.
Yeah, you understood that right. All kinds of Jerry Springer stuff going on.
Jerry, Jerry, Jerry.
Does that mean you're going to wrap it up with the message of the day like Jerry used
Can
to?
I ask a direct question? That is totally up to Napkins.
I may plead the fifth.
You may
Yeah,
ask, but
you're
he
welcome to
may
ask.
not answer. Dun 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 dun. This must be a long question.
You got her so tore up, she's typing in all caps, by the way.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie, I expect you to be working on a book. Did your ex-wife cheat on you with the mystery woman's ex and now you two are a thing?
Mm, more messed up than that.
More messed up than that.
I mean, technically,
Technically, yes, but it's even more messed up than that.
So you are right, but you're missing the
there's
music.
things missing
You're
from the
missing the music.
comments.
What is happening
Yeah,
in
right
Napkin's
now.
life right now?
Oh.
That's pretty good though. Wow, they are invested. They are
And she's
invested.
supporting it.
I love how she's typed in chat and they're still calling her the mystery woman.
Get in, Napkins and mystery woman. I will say though, before we do wrap this up, that I really enjoyed, like we mentioned before, you had something on your heart, and that's what we discussed and talked about, because that's how I want to do this thing too. Like if there's something I'm going through, I want to be able to get on here and just throw it out there. You know what I mean? I
Yeah,
think that
I
was
get
awesome.
that.
I mean, we're essentially just treating this like we normally would be if we were just on Discord talking anyhow, so that works for me.
Right. Gotta be you.
The final thing I will say to end this episode, if you guys are cool with ending it this way, all
Mhm.
things considered, I'm going through a divorce. I'm going through um, some messy court stuff, but all things considered, I am genuinely the most happy I think I have been in a very, very, very long time, possibly even ever.
Some bold words, but I'm cool with that.
The only thing I want is for my bros to be happy. Oh, napkins. I don't know why I said that, Asian.
We're not trying to spread hate.
But yeah, I'm glad you're happy, bro. That's all I want. But that will do it for this episode. I hope you've enjoyed this lifetime story. Be looking for the books on the shelves. Um, I'm excited for the next episode. I hope you can make it, Taco. If nothing else, we'll try and get you on Discord on your phone if you're able to.
It'd be a possibility.
So,
That should melt her heart. If not, then I may not ship it.
what man, I could write a heck of a Lifetime movie.
I'm telling you, you could. There is money to be made.
Definitely could replace some VC Andrews, that's for sure.
Wait. Oh, we're waiting. Are the X's related?
Oh,
What in the backwoods?
um. Napkins, that's your question, bro. Mystery
Oh, the
Woman
mystery
says
woman.
banjo music.
on that one, I'm gonna have to plead the fifth.
Amy, Kyle would absolutely love you for not saying West Virginia with that one.
Yeah, I would. If Cal was here, I'd said, what in the Wheeling, West Virginia?
Mm. Yeah, I'm gonna have to plead the fifth on that one because this is still a public podcast. That's possibly going to. Never mind. Plead the fifth. Move it on. Keep it rolling.
Oh, see, that's what you get for asking questions.
Who said Amy could ask questions? That's the
Are
that's
you
the
gonna
better
tell her
question.
no?
No, I'm not.
That's why Amy asks questions. Smart man. uh, that's great.
It is.
I gotta say, this podcast is usually the highlight of my week. She writes the checks, bro.
I have to agree. It's definitely a high point of the week for me as well. And I've actually been telling everybody at work about it and trying to get them to check it out.
Right.
Lifeguard's gonna know Napkins business.
I am reaching out to some coworkers. I'm gonna see if I can't get at least one of them on here, because I think that would be where I've had to be away from it for a little bit, but you're still working. Having another EMS personnel come in that is working to kind of help give their side of what they're dealing with too. I think that would be pretty good. I really would love to get Cal in here. I'd like to get Schizo in here too.
Yeah.
They wouldn't
Be
know
a
what there was
really
all of us.
Oh yeah, it'd be a great episode to have all of us on here.
We go from Lifetime to MTV.
The real world.
Okay, fellers.
Uh,
You need
on
to
a
do any
real
shout
note,
outs. On a real
on a real
note,
note,
Napkins
napkins,
buddy.
buddy.
What took so long?
What do you mean
Bro.
about what?
What took so long? Um, he's probably referring to the 8 years of torment.
Um,
I
I
think.
was
I'm just
blinded.
assuming.
If that's what you mean, then um, I was
It's
blinded
hard.
really bad.
Yeah, it's hard to. How do I put this? Because I kind of get what you're trying to say. There is it's hard to see it to let go when you're trying so hard because you want it to work.
Yeah, when you're fighting so hard to hold on to it, you willfully ignore a lot of red flags.
You put your own blinders up. Oh! That had not been 8 years. I hope not. Dear Lord,
No,
I hope not.
to my knowledge, that was not. No.
Mystery woman better chime in and make that clear. As far as I know, it had not been 8 years of that. It was 8 years of torment of not treating you like a human being and the manipulation.
I can answer that one for you, Vet.
They want to know how long.
Confirmed only recently since the separation. But suspected goes back a little bit longer.
Maybe maybe I'll tell my story one episode.
Ooh. Tune in for
Yeah,
the special episode.
when
The
some of
Napkins
the court
Lifetime
stuff
movie
isn't,
production.
when some of the court stuff's not in the mix.
That way you
I
guys
can
can
see
get your
that working.
popcorn ready and you can have some like M&Ms and your drinks and you can just sit there and enjoy the napkin story.
And I'm sure it would have to be like a extra long special episode too. Like I'm talking probably pushing 3-4 hours.
Well, I mean we're close to
Pushing
2.
up on 2 now,
Yeah.
yeah.
Vet said I got you. Okay, I think that's what we should do. An episode of the napkin story.
Of course, we could always make it a multi-parter thing. He could tell his early story on one episode and then do one that
What I was
brings everything up to date later.
What I was specifically referring to was December,
I got you.
Right.
or in other words, the first account.
The first account. Swipe or no swiping? All right, you need to throw any shout outs, Napacanos, the email, whatnot.
Email us at btq@slimchancegaming.com.
Or the website.
Or the website.
Things are happening!
angryvetnation.org. Fill out the contact form there. Hopefully by next episode we'll have some sort of update on the Beyond the Quest official website, but that's totally up to Angry Vet Nation. Got to work some things out there.
If you want to throw out topics or anything you want to hear discussed or anything, you can find the video of this podcast on the YouTube channel, Slim Chance Gaming Crew. You can drop comments there. If you want to do it anonymously, you can do it through the website or the email.
One little announcement I will have. Spotify we do know for a fact is working. Pandora podcast we know for a fact is working. iTunes, Apple Podcast is working, but it's a little delayed. I think I have officially fixed Amazon Podcast, but to be safe, if you want to listen to the podcast and you can't play the YouTube video because you don't want to pay the $15 a month for YouTube Premium, then you can listen to it on Spotify. That's the hub. That's where every other platform
hub.
pulls from. So Spotify will always work without problems.
Right.
And one more time, just because we have ran extra long today, special thank you to our sponsor, Angry Vet Nation, for all they do for us. And if you're a combat veteran or a first responder interested in
Can't
getting
believe you
into
have
streaming,
to put that in there so people understand it. Isn't that crazy?
yeah. But if you are a combat veteran or a first responder and you're interested in getting into streaming, check out their website at angryvetnation.org.
You won't find a better bunch of peoples.
Or now they want to know if he's being serious.
Hey, you should. That way you can catch the whole napkin story. Bro, I'm going to sell your story, just so you know.
Royalties, baby.
Yes, we are. We got to support our people. Man,
You
that's
guys are
love.
the best.
That's
I'm
love.
tearing up over here, man.
Well, now
The
that Napkins
absolute
has captured
best.
everybody's hearts and leaving them on the cliff hanging, wanting more, that is going to do it for this episode. I thank everybody for tuning in, watching, chit-chatting. Even the follow that I conned you into. Very appreciative for that. But even though I bet you haven't went and followed all of us yet. Hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
And since it's not up there, mine is EMTaco 15.
I
I'm
will
just
put
gonna-
it on there. Jeez,
I'm just going to throw this in there. You know
Uh-huh.
how refreshing it is to have somebody that actually watches and listens to things that you're passionate about?
Boo. If this
I
was a
mean-
mic, I just
Medic
dropped it.
definitely does. His wife was on here listening.
Uh-huh. Yeah, she was. You can't sweet talk me twice. Uh-oh. You're trying too hard.
Or are we trying too hard?
Maybe. Mic drop. Throwing shade and being sweet. That is Napkins in a nutshell.
That should be my new motto.
Remember,
You know
we're
what,
not spreading
fellas?
hate. We love y'all.
I'm just going to throw this out there. If I
Okay.
don't sleep the day away, tune in to my Twitch this evening. I'm going to stream some League.
Oh.
Ooh. Okay, I see you. I might even hop on there.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Not throwing hate, but why'd y'all just turn Asian for a second?
Well, that was the Will Smith okay that I was trying to do, but it's
I was
not
just,
very good.
for some reason, talking Asian. I don't know why. But anyway, till next time, we're not spreading hate because we love y'all and Jesus loves you more. Bye!
Bye.
From the first light to the game's last stand, we're chasing truth with controller in hand. Faith, adventure, stories untold. First responder, hearts brave and bold. Beyond the quest, where the journeys meet. From the fires of life to the gaming heat. Slim Chop's crew, come join the ride. With McMedic, Napkins, and Taco as your guide. Beyond the quest, where the journeys meet. From the fires of life to the gaming heat. Slim Chop's crew, come join the ride. With McMedic, Napkins, and Taco as your guide. Beyond the quest, where the stories grow. Faith, fire, and games in the worlds we know. Adventure calls, the table is set. Let's take the leap, our best quest yet. From the first light to the game's last stand, we're chasing truth with controller in hand. Faith, adventure, stories untold. First responder, hearts brave and bold. Beyond the quest, where the journeys meet. From the fires of life to the gaming heat. Slim Chop's crew, come join the ride with McMedic, Napkins, and Taco as your guide. Beyond the quest, where the journeys meet, from the fires of life to the gaming heat, Slim Chop's crew, come join the ride with McMedic, Napkins, and Taco as your guide. Beyond the quest, where the stories grow, faith, fire, and games in the world we know. Adventure calls, the table is set, let's take the leap, our best quest yet. From the first light to the game's last stand, we're chasing truth with controller in hand.